and commended the leadership of the NBA for its consistent investment to improve the legal profession, legal education, and the advancement of jurisprudence. Sequel to the rising spate of court-related killings in some parts of Ogun State in the last few days, the State House of Assembly has passed a resolution urging the State Governor, Prince Abeokuta, to, as a matter of urgency, constitute a special task force on anti-land grabbing, anti-cultism, and other related offences across the 3 senatorial districts, as provided in line with the State Anti-Land Grabbing Law 2016. The passage of the resolution followed a motion moved by the Majority Leader, Honorable Sheriff Yusuf, seconded by a member representing Ijebu North 1 State Constituency, Honorable Sylvester Abiodun, and supported by other lawmakers at plenary held at the Assembly's complex. Okemoso, Abeokuta. Correspondent Kola Woliosho covered the plenary. Details of his package.
The resolution, which enjoined Governor Dapo Abiodun to constitute a special task force on anti-land grabbing and anti-cultism and other related offences across the 3 senatorial districts, as provided in line with the State Anti-Land Grabbing Law 2016, was prompted by the presentation of a member representing Abeokuta South 2 State Constituency, Honorable Ademuyiwa Adeyemi, who reported cases of rivalry court clashes in some parts of the state. Similarly, a member representing Ifo 2, Honorable Ganiyu Oyedeji, also presented a case of illegal enforcement of court judgment on land matters affecting over 50 communities, as aided by some security personnel, including policemen and soldiers, at Olorunshogo and Sunre communities in Ifo, which was against the provision of the existing anti-land grabbing law in the state. The duo sought the immediate intervention of the House to protect the law-abiding people of the state, as well as requesting for means of curbing the reoccurrence of the dastardly acts like cultism, land grabbing, and kidnapping, amongst others, across the state. The Majority Leader of the House, Honorable Sheriff Yusuf, thereafter moved motion urging the state government to, as a matter of urgency, to constitute a special task force on anti-land grabbing, anti-cultism, and other related offences across the 3 senatorial districts, seconded by Honorable Sylvester Abiodun and supported by other lawmakers. Responding Speaker Oluomo stated that it was high time all stakeholders concerned with prosecution of criminals evoked relevant sections of the law, thereby charging those arrested in connection with court clashes and land grabbing matters accordingly, while cautioning the security agents to avoid unlawfully reduction of charges against suspected criminals in the process of prosecution.
The state government thereby enjoined to set up a committee to fight land grabbing and cultism in the state.
He further called on the higher echelons of the Nigerian Police Force and Nigerian Army to call their officers and men to order by ensuring compliance with civil process law and avoid being used to aid unlawful enforcement of land judgments obtained from any courts of law.
The Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Lakunle Olomo, has acknowledged the receipt of the alteration bills containing the clauses in the ongoing amendment to the nation's 1999 Constitution transmitted for the State Houses of Assembly. Uluomo, while announcing the receipt of the bills on the amendment at plenary, explained that the clerks of the 36 State Houses of Assembly had received the bills from the clerk of the National Assembly, Mr. Amos Ojo, the previous day for onward transmission to the various State Houses of Assembly.
Yesterday, all the clerks of the 36 states were in Abuja at the office of the clerk of the National Assembly, where the constitutional amendment clauses were transmitted to the state. I want to say that the states as of Assembly were in receipt of the proposed constitutional amendment for concurrent approval.
The Speaker promised that the State House of Assembly would soon hold stakeholders forum which would annex all relevant inputs into the amendment to the nation's constitution. Education in the 21st century is no doubt a basic need for human existence and the society at large to navigate through the technologically advanced world. For this reason, government has put measures in place to subsidize it, seeing its importance. However, even with the subsidization of education, its cost is still on the high side, which calls for urgent attention. This was the view of some Nigerians while speaking with our reporter Benga Adekoya on the rising cost of education in Nigeria.
Education in Nigeria is gradually becoming what is now reserved only for the rich, despite the efforts of government at all levels at making it free and accessible to the less privileged. In recent times, the sector has witnessed incessant increase in fees ranging from tuition, hostel, accreditation, among others. There have been many unanswered questions in the minds of Nigerian students, with parents not left out concerning the high cost of education in Nigeria.
It is those that will not meet up cut off for the universities in most cases that end up in the teacher training colleges. So that means we are not even pushing our best into the teaching profession. So that is a challenge on its own. When you now even come to the structure itself, funding is a challenge. Then finally, regulation.
If the government had done the needful very well at the public school, there may not be need for private schools. You will know it when anybody goes into any business. Nobody wants to go to any business that he or she will not want to make profits. And if the conducive environment is there, that might help the price of a private investor to go down. But in the present day Nigeria, the conducive environments are not there.
Respondents want the federal government to overhaul the education sector as human development is key to repositioning of the nation's economy.
I don't know what we are talking about, the cost of education, when the government is providing all that are needed in education sectors, providing schools, providing teachers, providing education materials. When you are talking of education, most of those people you can make mention of in Nigeria today, they undergo these free education policies of those government of the day. And I think to a certain extent there is still free education now.
The government needs to increase funding. How do we increase funding? Because the reality is that the government really cannot fully fund education again as it were in those days. Bring in other funders, other stakeholders, all students, parents. Let's forget this societal belief that education is a social service. Let's begin to tell our people that they need to pay no matter how little.
They also enjoined the government not to make education totally free so that parents could rise up to their responsibilities.
Still on education, the Ogun State Ministry of Education, Science and Technology has directed all public and private primary and secondary schools, as well as government science and technical colleges, to proceed on the 2021-2022 academic session, second term holiday from Monday 11th to Friday 22nd April 2022. According to a statement by the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, schools are expected to resume for third term academic activities on Monday 25th April 2022. Parents and guardians should ensure that the roads are properly monitored during the holiday, the statement added. And coming up in the news, federal government directs NBC to clamp down. To know that you're still there, the news continues. President Muhammadu Buhari has commissioned the new tower of the Bank of Industry (BOI), named Tower 2 building. The official commissioning of the 15-story building was held on Thursday in Abuja with various dignitaries in attendance. The president, who participated in the commissioning via Zoom, explaining that the Bank of Industry has disbursed loans worth billions of naira and created jobs for over 9 million persons. The edifice, which serves as the corporate headquarters of BOI, is in the business district of the nation's capital in Abuja. Dignitaries at the event include members of the federal cabinet, businessmen and women, among others. The mandate of the financial institution is to provide financial assistance for the establishment of large, medium, and small projects, as well as the expansion, diversification, and modernization of existing enterprises and rehabilitation of ailing ones. The Ogun State Governor, Prince Abeokuta, will officially flag off the Nigeria for Women Project's individual livelihood grants, empowerment, and upscaling of Okowo on Friday, 1st of April 2022. Venue of the event is MKO Abiola Stadium, Kuto, Abeokuta, starting at 2 in the afternoon. Ogun State Governor Prince Abeokuta has described the Bishop of Egba Anglican Diocese, Right Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Adekunle, as a phenomenal shepherd, a teacher, and an advocate of all-round development of the society, whose life is a manifest reflection of divine grace. Prince Abeokuta, who made this known at the Bishop's Court of the Anglican Diocese in Abeokuta when he visited the Bishop, who recently clocked 60, noted that the celebrant is not just a blessing to the Christian faith, but to the country as a whole. Governor Abeokuta, who said the younger generation should find inspiration and mentorship in the Bishop, prayed that God continues to bless the celebrant with wisdom and vigor to inspire the youth.
Congratulations, Bishop. Your life has been an enviable narrative of great accomplishments that are subjects of wide admiration and loud applause. With a professional calling as a teacher, an engineer, and a divine call as a bishop, you have thus become an advocate of all-round development of the society, both in mundane as well as spiritual realms. The homilies are noted for the usual candor, erudition, and offer hope, whilst nudging the souls towards divine will. And in your life is a manifest reflection of divine grace and the Word of God.
Celebrant Right Reverend Emmanuel Oludaise Adekunle, while appreciating the governor for paying him a visit on his attainment of the Diamond Age, noted that he had enjoyed the grace of God in his life.
I find myself in this office at this time, and people around me, it's just my privilege. I said it yesterday, and I'm saying it again. I've said it over and over again in this time of celebration, that I've enjoyed God's grace so much in my life. And I always give God that honor, glory, majesty, dominion, forever and ever. It will remain my God forever. Because things I don't think will happen in my life, where I don't think I will step in my life, the level I never thought I would reach in my life, God has, with His infinite mercy, brought me there.
Reverend Emmanuel Oludaise Adekunle clocked 60 on Tuesday, 29th of March 2022. The federal government has directed the National Broadcasting Commission to wield its big stake on television and radio stations airing inciting brokers as politicking for the 2023 general election gets intense. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, gave the directive at the inauguration of the governing board of the commission in Abuja. Mohammed also tasked the board to fast-track the implementation of the government digital switchover. Addressing the reconstituted board, the minister said the most important task facing NBC today is the successful transition of the broadcast industry from analog to digital broadcasting through the digital switchover DSO project. The government is also pushing for an anti-social media bill in the National Assembly and seeking to amend the Nigerian Press Council Act and the National Broadcasting Commission Act that are currently before the legislative arm to have more control over the press, but the bills have expressed pushbacks from many civil society organizations and media veterans who accused the regime of President Muhammadu Buhari of suppressing freedom of expression and secretly using Mohammed to bring back the infamous Decree 4 of 1984, enacted during his days as Nigeria's military ruler. The House of Representatives on Thursday adjourned its resumed plenary and suspended all legislative activities till next week to register the lawmakers' grievances over the recent killings in Kaduna State. The House reached the decision after the intensive debate on a motion of urgent public importance moved by Shehu Balarabe. Balarabe lamented that between March 24 to 28, 2022, armed bandits had invaded the two local government areas he represents and killed scores, raped, maimed, displaced many, and destroyed property worth millions of naira. Contributing to the motion, Al-Azan Ado Dogua, majority leader of the House, said Nigerians should be allowed at this moment to take up arms and defend themselves. Hence, it appeared the security agencies have failed in their task of defending the people. The Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, NASU, has written the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, opposing alleged 25% deduction from the Treasury Single Account, TSA, of the National Examinations Council, NECO, by the federal government. NASU, in a letter to the minister, called for an immediate end to the deductions, failure of which it threatened to embark on strike. In a letter signed by NECO branch secretary, Comrade Ruben Emdin, and made available to journalists, the union lamented the deduction, saying it was having adverse effects on financial strength. While saying the exam body is not a revenue-generating agency, the union appealed to the minister to prevail on President Muhammadu Buhari to approve the immediate stoppage of the 25% deduction and ensure refunds to clear outstanding entitlement and allowances owed NECO staff. The reckless behavior of truck drivers on major roads in Abeokuta and its environs has become an issue of concern to road users, and truck owners in the state are having sleepless nights. Accidents and avoidable death recorded in recent times should make all ends to be on deck to checkmate the trend before issues go out of hand. Chairman, Nigeria Union of Mile Workers, Ogun State Council, Alhaji Abiola Fasil, said this during his visit to the Ogun State television. He condemned in totality the recent road crashes caused by truck drivers in the state.
We are doing a lot on our truck drivers, especially on training. We do call on trace, the road safety, police. We do training for them, at least twice or four times in a year. But we will continue. That means our best is not enough. We will continue educating and giving them training until we get to the barest minimum of accident on our road. That is when we will know that we have got there. But we will continue until.
Alhaji Fasil said a task force has been put in place to apprehend and hand over any truck driver who fails to comply with road rules and signs.
That is guiding them, but you know the system in Nigeria, we are all taking advantage of the system of the country, because if the government too is there to make sure that some of these drivers, the driving license is being seized when they misbehave on the road, and he is not able to drive for about a month or 2 or 3 months. Such one can make them behave very well whenever they are on the road. But at times, when they spoil my own vehicle or get an accident with my own vehicle, they will abandon that and take up another employment from another person, which I did not have control over that person. And we are trying in the union to make sure that everybody comes under one umbrella.
Alhaji Abiola Fasil is also the Auditor 1 of the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC, Ogun State. A valedictory court sitting has been held for late Honorable Justice Sikiru Mohammed Owodunni, who died on the 14th day of March 2022 at the age of 62. The sitting, which was presided over by the Chief Judge of Ogun State, Honorable Justice Musumola Tikpeolu, was attended by members of the bar and bench as well as family members. Elizabeth Eson was at the ceremonial court of the Judiciary Complex, Kobakpe Road, Abeokuta, venue of the ceremony. She now reports.
Born on the 6th day of September 1960, to the family of late Alhaji Alimi and Alhaja Amdalat Owodunni of Ishiwo in Ijebu, Ogun State, late Honorable Justice Sikiru Mohammed Owodunni, who was appointed to the State High Court bench on the 31st of May 2013, was until his death on the 14th day of March 2022, a judge in the State Judiciary. A valedictory court sitting presided over by the State Chief Judge, Honorable Justice Musumola Tikpeolu, was held to bid the late judge farewell and to pay him their last respect. Honorable Justice Musumola Tikpeolu confirmed that late Honorable Justice Owodunni, as a magistrate and judge, was accommodating, kind, and respectful, putting a smile on the faces of everyone who came across him.
Honorable Justice Owodunni was very reserved, but he built a deep relationship with colleagues, magistrates, and the staff of the judiciary. He was very humble, kind, approachable, helpful, and very generous.
The State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Oluwashino Ogungbade, noted that the deceased's exemplary leadership qualities will be greatly missed.
He lived the life of all persons and will be remembered for his valuable contribution to the development of law and rule of justice in Ogun State.
In their separate speeches, the representative of the Senior Advocates of Nigeria, Chief Afolabi Fashanu, and Chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association, Shagamu Branch, Mr. Olufemi Adeniyi, eulogized life and times of late Honorable Justice Owodunni.
His humility transcends his immediate environment. He was loved by all his colleagues and staff. When sitting on the bench, he carried all his assignments with respect, decorum, and dignity expected of God. He was ever smiling.
I shall not dwell much on his courageous and resourceful nature, the which much will be rendered, but on his humility, a pivotal side of him, nobody failed to notice.
As a magistrate and judge, the deceased served at various magisterial districts and divisions in the State Judiciary, and until his death, served at the Shagamu Judicial Division. Judges, magistrates, lawyers, and family members thereafter paid their last respects to the deceased. Elizabeth Eson, OGTV News.
Operatives of the Police Explosive Ordnance Department, EOD, have defused an improvised explosive device, IED, in Rigasa, the Kaduna community where the Abuja-Kaduna train station is located. The explosive device, according to sources in Rigasa, was found in a bucket along Markafi Road area of the community. Kaduna Police spokesman ASP Mohammed Jaligi, who confirmed the development, said the men were immediately deployed to the scene after receiving a tip-off. Justice Ahmed Mohammed of the Federal High Court in Abuja has discharged and acquitted a former group managing director of the Nigerian Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Andrew Yakubu, on charges of money laundering. Yakubu is facing an alleged $9.8 million money laundering charge. Delivering judgment, the trial judge said the counsel had failed to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt to result in the conviction of the former NNPC boss. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, had in 2017 found huge sum of money in a safe at his Kaduna residence after a raid. Justice Mohammed also ordered the refund of the said money lodged in the covers of the CBN to be retained forthwith. Up next is Business News with Bola Oshomoju.
Multiple entry points is granted to foreign airlines, saying it will generate revenue for the country. Aviation had a civil car ministry on Thursday during the first quarter aviation safety roundtable initiative business breakfast meeting in Lagos. Civil car
We apologize for that mix-up. Business News continues. The federal government has defended the multiple entry point it granted to foreign airlines, saying it will generate revenue for the country. The Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, made this known on Thursday during the first quarter aviation safety roundtable initiative business breakfast meeting in Lagos. Sirika, represented by Group Captain John Ogikutu, the Chief Executive Officer, Centurion Aviation Security and Safety Consult, said these entries will help domestic airlines to improve their distribution in the connection opportunities. According to him, the granting of multiple entries point to foreign airlines into the country has been an issue of contention in the industry. The minister noted that granting of multiple designations also opens to prospect to domestic airlines, adding that it also improves their market by distributing passengers for connection. The trade volume between Nigeria and the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, has reached $5.45 billion. The Malaysian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Gloria Tiwet, made this disclosure during the Asian Cruising Day organized by the Asian Ladies Circle in Abuja under the leadership of the wife of the Indonesian ambassador to Nigeria, Mrs. Neni Harahap. The Malaysian envoy also said ASEAN enjoyed close and good relations with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and all the government agencies that ASEAN is engaged with. She disclosed that while the international community was affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, ASEAN's total trade with Nigeria remained strong and showed growth. Following the incessant power outage experienced in many parts of the country, the Rural Electrification Agency has obtained a total of $550 million to ensure clean, safe, reliable, and affordable electricity for Nigerians, while $350 million came from the World Bank. $200 million was obtained from the African Development Bank, whereas an additional $11 million will be used for the deployment of solar hybrid, mini-grids, and solar home system. In a statement, Director of Promotions, Ria Eyang Ogbe, noted that so far, over 300 clusters have been identified for electrification across the country in different phases. These include Area Market in Abia State, Sabongari Market in Kano State, and Surah Shopping Complex in Lagos State. At the launch, the pilot phase of the Energizing Economies Initiative of Federal Government of Nigeria, FGN initiative, being implemented by the Rural Electrification Agency, RIA, has commissioned the Surah Shopping Complex Independent Power Project in Lagos State, powering 1,047 shops, as well as the Area International Market Independent Power Project, Abia State, powering over 4,000 shops. also launched were over 6,000 energized shops at Sabongari Market, Kano State, with more connections in the pipeline. The Chief Executive Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Mr. Gbenga Komolafe, has said Nigeria was adopting a face-down approach to transiting to cleaner sources of energy. Komolafe, who spoke at the Africa Economic Summit in Lagos through Mr. Bashir in Dabawa, head National Data Respiratory UNPRC, said that Nigeria was committed to achieving a low carbon footprint. He said the global energy transition was a reality and that it was affecting investment in fossil fuel industries. Nigeria is fully committed to COP26 agreement, having pledged to achieve net zero target by the end year 2060. The Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, in partnership with Nigeria Meteorological Agency, NIMET, had sensitized Abuja farmers on 2022 Seasonal Climate Prediction, SCP, to improve agricultural production. The Mandate Secretary, FCTA, Agricultural and Rural Development Secretariat, Malam Abubakar Ibrahim, said the objective was to educate farmers with specific attention to selected crops and animals grown as captured in the forecast. According to him, the sensitization is part of activities to improve productivity in the agricultural sector. And that was business news. Back to Bukola for the rest of our bulletin.